Just wanted to say a few words really, without any hopping or skipping. Firstly, just to the people who showed up in Southampton yesterday evening at 6 o'clock to protest outside the police station. Thank you very much for taking the time and trouble to be there. Turning up matters. I apologize that I wasn't there, but you were, and what you did mattered to many, many people. I was on American news networks and showing them you guys at that protest. Secondly, we're going to hear a lot from the very politicians who banged on and on and on about George Floyd and took a knee and said it's righteous anger that we feel, that it's good to demand justice, you have to fight for justice. All those people on the left who made such a big deal about George Floyd and called it righteous and encouraged people to protest. Piers Morgan, the guy who was forcing lockdowns on everybody but celebrated his son being at the protest, for example. All those hypocrites now urging restraint when it's one of our own, and the protest is righteous. And I think really importantly as well is that this is just a side that's just good. There's a side that's just good people, there's good and evil, there's light and there's darkness. And my sense on that is that people on the side of good, we don't really need to fight, we don't need to fall out, we don't need to call each other names, we don't need to make untrue memes, we don't need to chop someone else's words up to make them look bad so that you look better. We don't need to try and own the conversation or the debate. We don't need to be the guy that's leading the conversation. We can just kind of all rally under a big umbrella where you don't all have to agree on everything, of course not. But we can rally under this big umbrella that says this is right and that's wrong. Not just wrong, obviously, but deeply, deeply evil. And I think finally, under a united umbrella, it's important to keep the pressure on. Because what happened with that whole body cam footage, probably the most difficult thing is the haunting images. So many people haunted by the color of the hands. Like as a mom, but as a dad, as anyone, the color of that child's hands can see instantly they're not right. And then the callousness of, I don't think you have, mate. That's the haunting stuff that I'm imagining isn't leaving many people. And it's that kind of callousness that we have to root out in order that good wins. And finally, of course, do take time away from all of the nonsense. Take time away from social media, especially Twitter. Take time away, look up, get out, breathe the air, because there's lots of great people out there. Lots of people cracking on with trying to earn a living and look after their families and do good things. Lots of poppies brilliantly waving their heads in the field for no other reason than to be glorious for the day that they have. So do take time away, keep the faith, because you have my absolute word that in the end, good wins. And as is so often the way, don't have to be at the front end of all of it, but just by showing up, just by knowing what is right and what is wrong, in the end, we win. But for now, poppies, skies, and hang in there.